Oh, hello. Today we're playing with my wood. Hey, welcome back to Five Lakes Garage, and today we are playing with some wood again because it's in my blood now and I'm addicted to it. Don't worry, we're going to be getting back to some Tacoma stuff and some Jeep stuff and all the other stuff. But today we need to build a birthday present for my mama. Anyway, she is going to have a birthday here real soon, so I think I did such a fine job on that last cutting board. Yeah, we're going to make another one. But this time we're going to do it a little bit different because I went out and bought some new tools. Oh, what is that? What new tools? Oh, let me show you. Alright, so we got a joiner here. And what this is going to do is make sure that our boards are 90 degrees. Now I've already checked that right there. Alright, picked up a little indicator. This is all digitally magic. I'm going to put one right here. And we're going to zero it out. There you go. Then we're going to put it here. It should be 90. Oh, 90.2. I moved it. Alright, we're going to fix that because you got to make sure all your tools are true. Now, what does the joiner do? Well, if you look at my board here, now these two are butted up together. You notice that there's a big gap right there. Well, that joiner is actually going to shave off right here until all of it is actually nice and smooth. It's kind of like a planer, but vertical. But that's going to be great. But I picked up something the other day from Rockler. And what this is going to do, you're going to put your board in here, you're going to clamp it down, and then you're going to squish it in there so everything is nice and tight. No more fighting with those really big clamps. We're going to test that out and see if I like it. I'm going to let you know. But what kind of wood do we get? Alright, so last time, if you checked it out, here's a picture. We used walnut, we used oak, paddock, maple, all that type of stuff. Well, this is what we got this time. So we got some cherry. Now look at those waves. Oh, that is beautiful. We still got some paddock because that is some awesome stuff and it smells wonderful when you start cutting it. We got some hickory here, and then we have some purple heart. Now I'm going to show you what this is going to look like once you put some oil on it. I did a little section right over here. Just put a little bit of oil on it, and you can see how beautiful that is going to turn out. So when you're going out there to the store and actually getting this stuff, just know this isn't your standard 2x4s. It's going to get a little bit pricey, but it's okay for my mama. Anyway, we are going to cut these things down. We're going to do about the same size as before, but we're going to do things a little bit different, and we're going to assemble it a little bit different, and we're going to bring you along the way with some new tools. Okay, so you just saw me actually cut everything down to a workable measurement. You're not working with the big giant board. Now, like I said in the other videos, use the tools you have. This has a little bit of a stop here. I moved this out all the way, and then now this is roughly the measurement that I needed. And every one you put up there is in the right spot. So we got our nice little joiner here. You have your gauge on the side of how much you're actually taking off. Now if I pull this up out of the way, loosen up my lock here, and what this does is actually lock this in place. Now this little knob over here will actually move your plate up and down, and if you can see down here on your gauge, you can move it up and down. Now I only did just a little bit, and put it about right there, lock it down. Now this is the reason why you're doing this. As you can see, that board is nice and pretty. It has got right angles, except for that little nip that I just took out, but that's fine. We'll do this side. There you go. Anyway, everything is nice and trimmed down. Still got to do a little bit more on that one. But the main reason why you kind of want to have that true is that when you're using the table saw, you don't have a little bit of a wave or anything like that. Precision is the key. I'm trying to learn that. I'm not a Ray Perkins or a Brennan. Anyway, so if you look on the side of this guy, this is pretty much still a rough cut, especially on that side, and that is not true. That's where the joiner comes in. So I'm going to get these guys nice and true and get ready for the next step, because I've got to get this thing done. or I'm gonna lose the shop. Or I'll just have it upset mama. Alright, everything is cut down to size, and I forgot to mention earlier, the first step you want to do for this is have a plan. Gotta have a plan. So, it's kind of what I came up with, just a few little hand sketch drawings, and you want to do with measurements. Now, my planer only goes 12 inches wide. That's my limit. So, I can do like two 12s and put them in there, put 24. That's kind of a pain in the butt. For something like this, she has a small apartment, we're only gonna do 12 inches, kind of sort of like what we did before. Now, for a couple of tips, for all of you that are actually gonna go out there and buy your own material. Now, you can use what you have around the shop, or you can actually buy it for the actual project. Now, I'll tell you what, I kind of messed up, I don't know what I was thinking, but this wood is expensive. Just gonna let you know. Now, you look at this one, that's how thick it is. Oh, 1 inch. Let's look at the purple. Oh look, it's 1 inch. The hickory, oh look, 1 inch. Cherry, 1.25 inches. So I got to shave down about 1/4 inch off of this guy. Now we can use the planer, but every bit of those shavings that go on the floor is wasted money. So what I should have done is get a 1 inch. I just grabbed it because it looked pretty darn cool. But right now we need to cut these guys down, or plane them down so they're all basically the same size, so they'll be a little bit easier to glue together later. Now, one thing that's going to separate you from, you know, amateurs, I guess, and I'm going to consider myself an amateur, but some of the things that you need to do. One, get the right tools so you can actually make this. Look at that. That is beautiful. Right edges, everything's fantastic. Now, if you look at the grain of the wood, you might want to just grab that center section here. So maybe you can cut a little bit off of each side, grab that center. It's going to be the strongest part, and it's also it has the nice waves and stuff like that. Now, this is going to be my centerpiece. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is actually take each one, take my measurements, set up on the table saw, rip them down the length, and then we can run it through the planer and just knock it all down. Now you could go through and just knock them all down with the planer first, but this whole board, I'm not going to use this whole board. I'm going to save some of these pieces for another project, and then if I shrink this down, then we're wasting. You never know, I might actually buy boards that actually fit next time. Anyway, I'm ready. Alright, so everything is cut down, and guess what? Plans change. Started thinking about it, and I changed it up just a little bit. So instead of 1.5 inches, I just put these guys down as 1 inch. I still kept the hickory at 2, but I put the Paducah at 1. But then I wanted the cherry to be like 4 inches, because I wanted that to be like the center, with all the other ones just popping like it's hot. Anyway, this is what it's gonna look like. There you go. So it'll be something like this. It's very basic. It's just going to be lines in here. Now what I'm going to do now is actually put this to the planer and make sure that all of them are really close. We're also going to go and grab Mr. Jerry's biscuit joiner and run some biscuit joints in here to actually make it really strong, in case you're really beating on a piece of meat or something, tenderizing it, and we're just going to tear it down. Stick it all together. Make sure it's beautiful. That looks good. I like that. I do like the purple. I do like the red. It's going to make a pop. Pop, pop, pop. Alright, I just got to finish running through the joiner one more time. Now, the main reason why you actually do that is to make sure that it is actually true all the way around. Apparently, I need a new table saw. So if you want to be a sponsor of the show, I need a good table saw. Anyway, now it's on to the planer. We want to make sure everything is relatively close before we glue this thing all together, and it just makes the life a little bit easier. Now, what I actually did do with my planer, a little bit different from last time. So last time, I didn't have this in here. Now this is just a piece of paneling that I just have clamped down here. Now what this is going to do is you got a little transition right here and a little transition over there, and then you have the rollers underneath. Now the rollers will dip down and then it'll plane out, and then it'll come back up again, and it kept leaving like a ridge. And actually, I think from the factory, hold on, there you go. So this little ridge right here. Now this is from the actual store. They don't have this little board here, so you can see the little groove. There you go, you can probably see it there. Anyway, it's nice and flat here, but there is a little step up. We want to get rid of that, so we put a little board here. Some people use plywood. I use some paneling because it's nice and smooth. We should be ready to go. So we're going to take all of these. Don't forget your protection, spectacles, and hearing. What? Alright, I'm back from Mr. Jerry's house. It's good to know some really good people, because they let me borrow yet another tool that I don't have yet, but I'm going to work on it. But we're going to be playing with a biscuit joiner. What's a biscuit joiner? Well, this is a biscuit. This is a tool to make the biscuit joiner work. Now I did it on these piece of 2x4s just to demonstrate. Alright, so this and this need to go together, right? So what I did was actually write a little line straight across, and I made a groove with the actual tool. Got one on both sides. Now the reason why you have that line there is so you know exactly where to actually put the groove. Then you're going to take your biscuit, you're going to fill this up with glue, you're going to put glue on this guy, and then you're going to just hammer that right in. There we go, about halfway. Then you're going to take your other side, line up your lines, and then bam, the biscuit's going to actually hold it, and it's going to be a whole lot stronger. Now you're still going to put glue all the way down, but the biscuit's going to make it a whole lot stronger. So let's see how we're actually going to put it on this cutting board. Okay, so and yes, I've changed it up a little bit. I kind of like the purple in the middle and the red on the exterior. Kind of like it because it kind of brings out the center. So anyway, so what we're going to do is take my square here, and then we're going to do a line right here, we'll measure it off, and then we're going to go in a couple inches and go here and go here. And the reason for that, so if you look here, I'm going to have a biscuit there and a biscuit there. Now if I just put the biscuits straight across, it's not going to be that strong. So what we're going to do is stagger them. Something like that. I'll figure it out once I actually start making some measurements and find out exactly where they're actually going to be. But I'll make my lines, mark it to where I'll know exactly where to use the biscuit joiner, show you how to work on this joker. Yeah, check out the action. Ready? Boom! So, anyway, let's get this guy set up. So, get my spectacles and get this guy biscuited. And then we can go put it in some glue. Alright, I have to confess, that's my first time using a biscuit joiner. Thank you, Mr. Jerry. But now I gotta go get one. Jeez. Anyway, so I have grooves all inside each board, and they coincide with the board next to it. So I gotta keep the order correct. I might throw some numbers on there just so I can say, bro, easy, 1, 2, 3, 4, blah. There you go. Next stop will be to start gluing them together so I can leave them overnight, so tomorrow I can come back and start working on it again. Also, speaking of glue, it's not a sponsor, just want to let you know. I'll sponsor myself here. But yeah, get the Titebond 3. It's waterproof. It's outdoor, indoor, doesn't make a difference. This stuff is awesome. Good job. Anyway, let me get my stuff set up and then I'll glue it on up. I'll bring you along. I like that. That's a cool tool. I like tools. You know what else I like? Coffee. Still ain't got a coffee. P.O. Box 821, Holly Springs, North Carolina 27540. Send me some coffee. Whatever you like. I want to start some exotic stuff. Alright, we're almost ready to actually set this thing up and glue it permanently. So it's never going to come off. So, I want to show you my new tool. I like this thing. So, these are the clamps that I picked up. And once again, no, they are not a sponsor. But, anyway, as you can see, it's all pretty cool. So what this thing actually does is that it has a spring here and a spring here, and it's going to be pushing these things down. Not a lot, just enough to actually keep everything lined up. All right, so this works really well because it has really some decent sized feet. Anyway, so it is going to be pushing this way and pushing this way at the same time. Make sure you get your biscuits in there and everything will be hunky-dory. Don't forget to use your glue. All right, let's get this guy out and glue it in for reals. All right, first time using the tool, I have to say it's a little cumbersome, but actually I would like for it to, maybe there's a way, I haven't figured it out yet, but actually take the springs off so it just kind of clams open, stick it in, you know, whatever, kind of push it in, kind of was a pain in the butt. But I am still learning, as well as you are still learning. But hey, if you got a better way, let me know, because I want to make it better. But anyway, the clamps actually work really well. Go ahead and use as much glue as you really want to. The glue, you can sand it off, you can plane it off, scrape it off, whatever. The tool itself is actually powder coated, so it should not stick to it. I hope. I'll let you know tomorrow. And time for this to go to bed. And time for me to go get some dinner. So anyway, see you tomorrow or Tuesday next week. Hey, thanks for watching the show. Hey, if you need some outdoor speakers, indoor speakers, whichever, go ahead over to Handui and go ahead and get you 10% off. But if you need some LED lights for your trucks, your tractors, whatever, go over to Exito and get you 15% off. All the promo codes are down and below. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe. And we'll catch you later. Enjoy the show. I gotta clean up. Hey, welcome back to the wind tunnel. Yep, got the fans going because it is dusty up in here. But that's gotta do what we gotta do. All right, so we got our stuff all clamped down. It is time to actually reveal it and well, at least take it out of the clamps. Still gotta plane it, sand it, and polish it, and oil it, and grease it. We got a lot of stuff to do. Let's get to it. All right, there you go. Nice and flat. But we do have a bunch of glue still on here, and that's where the planer is going to come in. But before we actually stick it to the planer, we got to get the big stuff off. So I'm just going to take a file and just kind of file this down just a little bit, or maybe like a chisel, to get the big chunks off. And the reason why is because as it's going through the planer here, if this bump right here is on the bottom, this side's high, that side's low, and then you get it uneven, and you don't want to do that. So I'm going to find me my chisel somewhere. All right, got my basic little chisel. I'm just going to chisel it off. All right, it's not only a wind tunnel, it's a sauna. It's hot up in here. I need to get the ACs going, but I don't have a dust collector yet. All right, so there we go. All right, so it's been through the planer a few times. Got all the glue off. We're gonna use the miter saw. But before you use it, just like all the other stuff, make sure it is true, because you want to make sure these things are nice and straight, parallel, perpendicular, whatever. Got to make it pretty. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. All right, so I already have it zeroed out. It is at 0. This is zeroed out. 90 degrees. Now, is my saw right? It's pretty close, but it's a little off. So the other thing you have to true it up is when you come down and you slide it, you want to make sure that is perpendicular with that. Now, we got some fancy tools. I don't have any fancy tools. So we're going to stick this down, put it all the way to the blade, and then slide it up there. And we want to make sure that this thing right here does not move, which I just moved it because I was showing you. There you go. So that is pretty close. Just make sure it's tight as you can get it. And as you can see, my needle is off. That is not 0 degrees. All right, so let's cut this guy. That's better. Not 1,000%, but at least 100. I'll take a little bit more effort than I thought. But it is a little bit shorter, but it's still in a good size. All right, so everything seems to be relatively straight, but you got all these nasty sharp edges. You don't want that. Let's go over to the router and just round it off just a little bit. All right, so we're over here on the router, and the only thing we're trying to do is just get a slight edge on that side. Now we're still gonna have to sand this down, so we'll get rid of the sharp edge. We just want to make sure it's uniform all the way around with an actual beveled edge. And don't forget your corners right here too. So what are we actually going to use? This is the bit. All right, there's the router bit that I'm using. It does have a little ball bearing on top, which will ride on the side of the wood, so that it'll be nice and beautiful. All right, so now it's the sanding part, which does take the longest time. So anyway, I'm gonna go all the way up to 220, maybe 320. I'll see what I feel like. And then the magic happens when we put oil on this thing and it makes it go pop. And I think I'm gonna make the magic happen. All right, this is what I mean by the magic. Got my towel. Now, this stuff here you can pick up online. You can pick it up at pretty much any wood store, but it is specifically for cutting boards. No, it's not made out of raw walruses. A lot of people ask me that, but no. Shake well before using. Check out the magic, baby. There we go. Now watch how this grain comes right out. Ready? Let me go straight across. Bam! Look at that. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. And while you're doing this, your rag should be able to run over this really smooth. If it comes over smooth, that means you got all your imperfections out. Woo, buddy. Let me tell you something. What did I tell you? Look at that. That is what I'm talking about. Now this oil is going to sit on here overnight, and what it's going to do is just going to soak right in. All this wood here is really dry. So I'm going to lean that up there all over my fingers. But anyway, that oil is going to soak right in, and we're not done yet, because as soon as that soaks in, we're going to put some more oil on it so that it can soak in some more. So I'll probably put about 2 or 3 coats on there. It's going to take about 2 or 3 days. But even then, we're still not done. Once we oil it, we need to sand it one more time, because all of that oil is going to soak into that wood and expand it. And then it's going to be rough. Not too rough, just a little rough. But we're going to hit it with some 220, 320, something like that, some of the higher grit, just to make sure that it is smooth as a baby's bottom. And then, when we get done with all of that, then we're going to put some beeswax on it and seal everything in. And by then, it'll be ready for grandma or my mama. All right, we'll see you in a few days. I'm gonna get out of these clothes and go to bed, because I'm tired. All right, it's been a few days. Welcome back. I know it's only been about half a second for you, but it's been days for me. Hey, check it out. All right, so I'm gonna come up here at least twice a day. Once in the morning, once in the evening. Put another coat of oil on this thing. Now, as you can see, it's darkened it up. It's a little shiny in some places, but we are in fantastic shape. So what we're gonna do now, because I put the oil on there, all the pores on this thing is starting to open up. So we're gonna hit it with some 220. I got some 320 there just to knock it off and smooth it out one more time. Then we're gonna seal it with some BB wax. All right. And yes, I have air conditioners on because it is hot as blazes outside. All right, sanded down with about 220. I was gonna go to 320, but she feels beautiful. So you can stop at 220. So now we just need to seal it. Now you can keep going with oil, and I've actually seen people take like a little boat, stick this in there and cover the whole thing and let it just sit and soak up all that oil. And then take the old oil, well, it's not old, but put it back in the bucket, use it again next time. I'm just trying to put it on about 2 times a day. Takes about 3 or 4 days, get enough coverage, and we're good to go. But now I'm gonna put some beeswax on it. Now there's a bunch of other different products out there that you can use. This is the stuff that I use because this is what I've been taught by two of some absolute great woodmanship kind of people. So anyway, just beeswax. All right, let's see what this thing's gonna look like with a little bit of wax. That's, oh, I am falling in love with woodworking. Oh my gosh, I love the way it turned out. A couple things I would have done differently. I probably wouldn't use the hickory. Boy, that was a pain in the butt to sand down and actually make it nice and smooth. I may have did something wrong, so if I did, please let me know. Put it in the comments. I need to learn. But I'm loving woodworking. This here is going to be a birthday present from my mother, and hopefully she likes it. I have to say, I do love the cherry. Well, I'm going to make another cutting board, but we're going to try to get a little bit fancy. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, waves, squares, checkered, I don't know. We're going to make one, cut it up, reposition it, glue it back together, make one, you know, do whatever. But we're going to learn some new skills, and hopefully you'll be coming along with me. But until next time, take it easy, have fun, get out there and do some stuff. Try something new. I've done woodworking, but nothing like this. So get out there and try it out yourself, see how you do. You might surprise yourself. And not only that, you got Christmas presents, birthday presents, and you can have fun doing it. Until next time, take it easy, have fun, and we'll catch you later. I am not looks good.